the Cuban folks actually look like on the island, because there's obviously somewhat of a communication blackout from American media as far as like their everyday existence of Cubans. You can just go to Cuba. Like, I wonder where he got that scoop from. Okay. It's shit. It's fucking shit. Anyway, things are going really well because guess what? We're moving our THAAD launchers away from South Korea. All THAAD batteries assigned to U.S. forces in Korea have been withdrawn from the Korean Peninsula and have been redeployed to the Middle East. Now, having said that, and I talked about this the other day, I said that they were probably going to start deploying their THAAD missile, like anti-missile defense systems away from places that they have them. Okay? Yes, all of them. All of them. The U.S. Department of Defense has begun relocating air defense systems, including the MIM-104 Patriot surface-to-air missile and terminal high-altitude area defense THAAD batteries with the U.S. Army from Osan Air Base and other sites in South Korea and the Middle East. Now, they're doing that because they've depleted their fucking THAAD batteries. They've depleted them. Iran has successfully depleted their shit. And we don't have anything else. Now, why is that significant? Well, the South Korean leadership literally has no say in this. It's not. Remember the withdrawal that the American military had from the Gulf region? America is not just showing that they're a paper tiger here against Iran, but they're basically telling other countries that we have given security guarantees to, you're on your fucking own. Do you understand? It's just Israel, Am Israel High, and nothing else. In an effort to defend Israel, we are withdrawing our defenses from all of these other security cooperative agreements that we potentially had with places like South Korea. These are long-standing security arrangements that we have, right? For years and years, we have talked about how scary North Korea is. Yeah, South Korean President Lee Jae-myung said he cannot stop the U.S. from redeploying some weapons based in his country to the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. As reports emerge, U.S. Patriot missile systems are being sent to the Middle East. He just straight up came out and was like, I can't stop them. He also, amidst this back and forth, because I suspect that they literally told him ahead of time, if you recall last week, he reached out to North Korea ahead of time. The South Korean president straight up reached out to North Korea a week and a half ago, right as the Israel-American war on Iran was beginning. Why did they do that? Why do you think they did that? Because they know they're shit out of luck, because American security doesn't mean shit when push comes to shove. Let's see what the North Korean response is going to be. The DPRK also released a response. North Korea's Kim Jong-un issued a statement today, hours after reports of relocation of THAAD missile defense systems from South Korea to the Middle East. On March 9th, the U.S. and South Korea fully launched a large-scale joint military exercise, Freedom Shield. More than 18,000 troops are participating, conducting around-the-clock exercises for over 10 days around ground, sea, air, space, and cyber. This exercise is clearly a rehearsal for a provocation war of aggression plotted against our state, not a military game. The reckless and brutal provocations of international rogues are causing the rapid collapse of the global security architecture, with wars raging everywhere. At this grave moment, the U.S. Republic of Korea war exercise will only bring about results that further destabilize the region. Recent global geopolitical crises and complex international events prove there is no distinction between defense and offense, exercise and actual combat, in all military provocations of hostile state-fueled forces. One must suppress that enemy through an extraordinary, overwhelming, preemptive offensive of superior force, not through proportional or head-on reactive responses. Our head of state has already made clear the most powerful offensive capability is the most reliable deterrent. This is an indisputable law and philosophy. The enemy must not test our patience, our will, and our capabilities. They will, by force, cause the Republic of Korea to engage diplomatically with the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Okay? Once the paper tiger has been revealed to not have the power to engage in force projection everywhere around the world, all of a sudden, all of the foreign adversaries that have been forced into these cooperative agreements with one another. Like for the DPRK, obviously there's like historical significance and partnerships and allegiances, like military allegiances with like Russia from the USSR and certainly with China as well, right? But like, why the fuck would Iran know anything about North Korea? Okay, think. Why would Iran have any investment in dealing with North Korea at all? Why would Iran have any investment in dealing with China at all? Why would Iran have any investment in dealing with Russia at all? As a matter of fact, historically speaking, they've always been more favorable to the West. So why? Why is Iran now playing a pivotal role in the adversary structure that is being designed around the globe? It's because we forced them. That's it. We forced their hands. When you get pushed by the United States of America, when the United States of America keeps showing its hand over and over again, whether it be economic pressure that they apply through sanctions, whether it be economic pressure that they apply through the SWIFT banking system, whether they can like devalue your currency aggressively and destroy your economy by sanctions and also currency manipulation, America has shown time and time again that you need to have a separate security cooperative agreement with the countries that are in the periphery. And that's precisely what happened. That is precisely what's been happening. Okay? It shows utter weakness too to the security, to the allies. It shows utter weakness that we're telling South Korea, sorry, you're on your fucking own actually, after years and years of like posturing militarily, doing these like joint exercises, training your military, giving you all the latest weapons that you're dumping a shitload of money into. We're taking those weapons back. Isn't that fucking crazy? It shows the rest of the world that all of the weapons that you own currently are not yours. Okay? The weapons that are deployed on the military bases that you pay for with your tax dollars that are technically American military bases are not unconditionally in the interest of defending your soil. They're actually just sitting there as a force projection capacity. In a force projection capacity, they're not invested in actually defending your land at all. There's only one country that America will unconditionally defend, at least for the time being. And the day might come where that unconditional defense structure changes as well. That country is Israel. Israel! That's the only country that gets unconditional defense. As you can see, America is literally pulling their assets to defend Israel. They're pulling the region of the Gulf to defend Israel. They're pulling their assets from South Korea to defend Israel. It's f***ing insane. And a lot of people are still utterly delusional about the American military might. They're delusional about America's capabilities, and therefore they are not seeing the writing on the wall. Our enemies, on the other hand, our foreign adversaries, on the other hand, are totally tuned into what's going on. The calculation has changed. In the last 10 days, as I said over and over again, in the last 10 days, the calculation for the rest of the world changed dramatically. We are now, in my opinion, officially moving into a real world war. World wars have been fought without official decree. Obviously, it wasn't like people were like, oh, we're in World War I now, or oh, we're in World War II now. I think we are now moving into a very different world, okay? I mean, when you look at the map, you got Ukraine and Russia. Now you got America and Israel directly dealing with Iran. If you cannot comprehend that battle lines are being drawn right now by way of proxies, non-nuclear proxies, or rather nuclear sovereign nations attacking American proxies and America attacking or America defending non-nuclear proxy nations that are being attacked by nuclear great powers, like in Ukraine versus Russia, you kind of begin to realize like there is this friction. There is this real friction that's taking place. Taiwan and China, man, Taiwan and China is not even a part of the fucking equation. Like, I think you guys don't understand. It's more so China and the DPRK and South Korea potentially. Okay? You were right, but too early again. What is this? Scoop. White House tells House Republicans to stop talking about mass deportations after White House spent years talking about mass deportations despite the House Republicans begging them not to. Vindication. I told you. Deeply unpopular domestic policies, deeply unpopular foreign policy. This shit's being held together by ticker tape and like utmost confidence in pre-existing American military might. That's literally it. It's a house of fucking cards, man. It's a house of cards. It's built on these lies. It's built on like endless amounts of military expansion against nation states that could not hold their own, right? Oh, we dominated Afghanistan. That was a failure, but it was a failure that came after 20 years. We could hold our own for 20 years, so it was fine. And all of our capitalist pedophiles made money in the process. All of our drug dealers made money in the process with Afghanistan and with Iraq. So it was fine at the end of the day. But it's not fine when you actually have a country that is willing to fucking fight back. That's all it took to tip the fucking scales against American empire. All it took was for one country to say, fuck you. We spent the last 47 years literally waiting for this moment. And even before that, I mean, Russia's invasion of Ukraine also was the accelerant, right? That was the first step, because for the first time ever, America, by way of a proxy, could not actually stop a foreign country. They were able to stop the full military ambitions and the full military occupation of the entirety of the Ukraine. They stopped Ukraine from turning into fucking Belarus, right? Like a puppet state working in favor of Vladimir Putin. But they weren't able to cause them to retreat with all fucking weapons transfers in the entirety of the Western world. They were not able to stop the Russians and push them beyond the eastern Ukrainian territories that they now militarily occupy, where they've hardened their positions. That was also another major step. Government ministries admit for the first time that in Israel there are doubts regarding the toppling of the Iranian regime in the near future. It may take about a year. I mean, this is either them priming. Israeli officials are apparently extending their estimates for when they think the Islamic Republic will fall, in that it will now perhaps take a year, even after the war stops, for conditions to be ripe for the opposition to overthrow the state. Laying the groundwork pretty clearly here for the war to end without the government being overthrown, because progress has not been made on that end, despite continuously killing political and military leaders and bombing RGC installations, Basij bases, and police departments. Great. I mean, that's good. That's not a bad thing. That's literally a good thing, because Israel holds all fucking, well, they don't hold the cards, but they control whether America actually continues going up the escalation ladder or not. You should crop the live money spent on the Iran war and add it over your banner. True. Anyway. All right, let's continue.
Decisively.
Trump is over here fucking giving mixed signals.
As he and his advisors send conflicting messages about how long the war will last. Over the weekend, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told 60 Minutes,
"This is only just the beginning."
And on Monday afternoon, the Department of Defense posted, quote, "We have only just begun to fight." But around the same time, the president told CBS News, "I think the war is very complete, pretty much." And soon thereafter said this.
I think you'll see it's going to be a short-term excursion. Short-term. Short-term.
While also adding that the U.S. would not relent.
We've already won in many ways, but we haven't won enough.
Later in the day, he was asked whether the war was just beginning or complete.
Well, I think you could say it both. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of building a new country. But they have no Navy. They have no Air Force.
Adding that Iran's leadership is largely gone.
We could call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further.
President Trump is also facing scrutiny for a strike near an Iranian elementary school in the first hours of the war that killed more than 170 people, mostly children, according to Iranian officials. The Pentagon says it's investigating.
I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But tomahawks are used by others, whatever the...
Yeah, that's my new GOAT at the New York Times, by the way. That dude is awesome. I immediately DM'd him. I was like, dude, keep up the fucking great work. Hopefully they don't kick you out of the compress pool, you know? shit also went viral. My reaction to him went viral, but that was a great. That is, I want that energy from every single. I want that energy from every single journalist, dude. That's what we need. Yeah, look at this. Look at this TikTok.
You
That
just
shit went
suggested that
super
Iran
viral,
somehow
dude.
got its hands on a
Yeah.
tomahawk and
354,000
bombed its own
likes.
elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the
That's a
only
great
person in
question.
your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say
Oh
that when
my
he was asked,
God.
standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you
His
the
name
only
is
person
Sean
saying
McCreesh.
this?
Because I just don't know enough about it.
Oh
I
my
think
God, who
it's
the fuck is this
something
guy?
that I was told is under investigation.
It's a ballsy
But
question.
tomahawks are.
He's about to get
are
tomahawked
used by
himself,
others, as you
dude. They're
know.
gonna pack him up.
Numerous other nations have tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report. Yeah, please.
Oh my God, journalists do that all the
You
time.
said
Oh my God, do
earlier
that
that
all the
we've
time,
already won
please.
in the
A real
What
shame
do
for
you
all
consider
career
enough?
reporters
What's
that
your
don't ask
baseline?
questions
Where they're
like
not
that,
gonna
by the
be-
way. Yeah, his name is Sean McCreesh. He's a New York Times reporter. He's the White House correspondent for the New York Times, and he absolutely banged with that. Very clear, very deliberate, perfect use of the English language, okay? I love that. I want more of that. I want more of that now. I want more of that yesterday, okay? Straight up, holding his feet to the fucking fire. Just literally being like, why are you the only person in the American government that is now claiming, in spite of your defensive Department of War secretary's statements, why are the only person that's claiming that like this is not an American missile? It's great. His following on Twitter blew up too. Yeah. Yeah, Jim Acosta used to do that until he got banned. Oh, speaking of Jim, I'm talking to Jim as well on Cuba. I'm trying to get him to come to Cuba with us. Only journalist that remembers he has free will. Yeah, he was like, wait a minute, I can do this. I have the microphone. I can just ask the president normal questions instead of just like dumb questions and silly questions. I can ask the president a question that he has to directly answer and not weave out of. Kneecaps going to Cuba? Yeah, I know. I know. I've been working hard, boys. You expect the CNN person to go with you? CNN is going with us already. Yeah, we have Boy's going. I Did a Thing is going. We have a major, dude. More people will be revealed in the upcoming days. I've been working on this for. No, it's not Donnie, unfortunately. I forgot to literally invite Donnie. It was such a mistake on my part. It's another CNN reporter that'll be on board. But I've been working for the last 2 months on like organizing this major flotilla trip. Like, shouts out to Progressive International. They've been doing all the logistics, obviously, but I've been trying to get as many people as possible to come. So are you bringing aid? What are y'all doing there? Yes, we're bringing medical aid. Not only are we bringing medical aid and solar panels, because like the Answer Coalition and like the PSL front orgs are bringing a lot of solar panels and stuff like that. But then on top of that, like the goal there is to just like show Americans like what the regular experiences for regular Cuban folks actually look like on the island, because there's obviously somewhat of a communication blackout from American media as far as like their everyday existence of Cubans. You can just go to Cuba. Like even right now, you could just go in Cuba. Okay. And people don't even know that. Invite I show speed. Genuinely, I asked. He did not respond. It would have been great. No, he going on vacation as a gentrifying colonizer. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Exactly. How does N Wokeness find himself defending Mamdani against CNN, who downplayed the bomb throwers? N Wokeness is a woke defender now. Bring medical aid as Dr. Jihad. Oh my God, this shit is so funny. This guy's one of my favorite. This guy, unironically, I think is the best in Israeli comedy. Rabbi Avraham Baruch. He does this thing where he's like, Goy! He has like a ranking system where it's like, Jew or Goy, right? And I guess he has another ranking system where Arab is like, here, let's just watch. Yeah, he's in Israel and he's saying that he has a new method. Okay, here, I'll just play the original one first so you get a better understanding of who this guy is. Okay, this is like the one that went supernova viral, right? Jew or Goy. Yeshiva student walking with an elevator haircut.
גוי. תספורת שוקו-וניל, זה יהודי או גוי? גוי. בלורית, זה תספורת של יהודי או גוי? גוי. מכנסיים, צמודים כמו נקניקיה מסלוסי. זה גוי או יהודי? זה גוי, שתי מקלות של מטאטא של סנוקר הולכות. אתה גנב! אתה גנב!
מה יש לך? למה את בוכה? אין לי מושג.
Please, this is anti-Semitic. Turn off. I'm being for real. Dude, this is literally the best in comedy in Israel, bar none. Okay? When he freaks out on Barney, it is fucking I'm not even joking when I say I would literally watch this man every fucking day. Okay? I would watch this man every day. This is 1,000 times funnier than Israeli SNL. Israeli SNL is like, oh, Colombia anti-Semity. This, on the other hand, is this is literally the Jewish memory TV edit. Okay? This is like, you know how like memory TV, which is obviously an Israeli Israeli operation as well, where like it shows some of the craziest like imams and shit, like, but it's also unintentionally funny. Oh, you said I know, lol. I'm joking. I have Zionist family members. Oh yeah. Okay, no, your messages didn't go through because you said Zionist, and obviously we blocked that as a term. Is he ironic or unironic? No, he's unironic. That's what makes it funny.
מה יש לך? גרביונים?
גרביונים?
שמעתם? פעם כוכבים חשבתי רק בשמיים. הם ירדו לגרביונים. משקה חדש יצא. פסיפלורה משוגעת. ראשי תיאבון פסיכי מטומטם. גימטריה אהבל. יש כאלה צועקים.
This went super viral, I think, like way back in the day in Israel, but it's become viral again. But Rabbi Avraham Baruch also has another metric, okay? So you know how in the Western world, Nazis say, Jews control the media, Jews control society, all this stuff. In Israel, Rabbi Avraham Baruch has taken the anti-Semitic conspiracy because, Jews do control the media in Israel, obviously. And he has decided it's actually not Jews that control the media in Israel. It's actually Arabs that control every aspect of society in Israel. This is the reversal of the Jews own Hollywood meme or anti-Semitic conspiracy made specifically for Israel. Let's take a look.
בכל הארץ. בית מלון, שימו לב, בית מלון, ערבים. משטרה, ערבים. מג"ב, ערבים. שב"ס, ערבים. בית מרקחת, ערבים. נהגי מוניות, ערבים. אוטובוסים, ערבים. בית חולים, כל הרופאים, ערבים. דוקטור מסראווה, דוקטור ג'יהאד.
Dr. Jihad! Yeah! Yeah! Let's go! My My favorite Israeli comedy show has referenced me, and I had no fucking idea. Oh my God. Dr. Jihad Arabi.
דוקטור ג'יהאד, דוקטור מרווד,
Dr. Marwan.
דוקטור מרווד למשרד. מה זה, כפר קאסם?
That's fucking awesome. That's awesome. When is that from? From what date? I don't know. This is like a newer version of the same show. Yeah. I have a doctorate in jihad. I am Arab and I have doctorate in jihad. It's fucking incredible. Apparently the Arabic at the end says he fucking hates Tel Aviv. Wait, what? Oh wait, is the guy who makes this comedy show like a anti-Zionist or something? Is that why it's so funny? I don't understand. Because I can't tell if this is like this dude is like being sincere and is like genuinely that fucking racist and oblivious to how racist it is, or if it's like, I don't know. I think it's hilarious though. I love it. This is genuinely, maybe Orthodox and hates the libs in Tel Aviv. I don't know. Isn't this an edit of a real show? Congrats, you've been on Russia and Israeli propaganda. That's true. And I'll be honest, Israeli propaganda is much better. Dr. Jihad Arabi is literally way funnier than being like, oh, Hasan is a gay homosexual streamer who poses in front of cars and paints his nails. He's actually a piece of shit. I saw him doing a chant in Lebanon claiming that the land belongs to him. I mean, yeah, I can't tell if he's like, I can't tell if this is like self-aware, but it does seem like it's a bit made by like definitely a somewhat racist guy. What is this? This guy in the end in Arabic lettering says, I may be an Israeli Jew who makes memes, but I very much hate Tel Aviv with all my heart. Fuck the city. I pay 50 shekels just to park my car. Fuck those people who pay 50 shekels just to drink coffee and read Haaretz newspaper to kill the boredom. I must flee this place ASAP. Racism is better than homophobia, Hassan Piker. Dude, are you kidding me? I have a doctorate in racism. Fuck are you talking about? I love different variants of racism. We explore the wonderful, colorful mosaic of racism that is racism over there all fucking time, whether it be in Israel or whether it be in India. I'm not Dr. Jihad. I'm actually Dr. Racist. Like, straight up, I have a PhD in racism. It's fascinating. He literally pointed to all the public services Arabs in Israel do, bus driving, pharmaceutical workers, doctors, etc., and used it for a joke. Seems to me like he's trying to point out that there are good folks and essential, not the opposite. Though I don't know him at all. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, wait. One of our Israeli chatters is chiming in. But yeah, I don't think this is like a super popular show or something, but I don't know. Like I can't figure out whether he's being like sincere or whether he's just like memeing. But regardless, it's very funny. It's infinitely funnier than like the angry style of Israeli comedy that you get from like Israeli SNL. Thank you for another immortal quote. I've been trying to get as many people as possible to come. Apparently, this guy's a former secular judo champion, but he became a Haredi rabbi in Petah Tikva. He's the equivalent of a televangelist in Israel. Oh, that's awesome. This shit is hilarious, and I'm Palestinian law, but I find everything these people do funny. Yeah, it's this is actually unironically funny, as opposed to like Israeli SNL is so bad. Israeli SNL is so fucking bad. Portuguese racism is cool. The word for black is the offensive word. The N-word variant is the polite one. That's crazy. Yeah, this is the guy's Twitter, but I don't know. I just don't know why. Like, he might just hate Tel Aviv because everything is expensive or something. Maybe he just like, what is this? He hates Dubai.
הרבנית אמרה לה בקבר, את נכנעת לדובאי, השם החליט גודביי.
This is like Israeli memory TV, bro.
One-way ticket, one-way ticket.
No, he is an actual rabbi. He is an actual rabbi.
One-way ticket, one-way ticket. אין חזרה רבותיי, one way. איבו אתה חוזר! אתה תזכה לעולם שכולו טוב. אנא אדוני יושיענה. אנא אדוני יושיענה. מתי? מתי?
Israeli Alex Jones? I mean, maybe. Anyway, I fucking love this guy, man. Hey, this guy is now my favorite and possibly only Israeli comedy that has ever made me laugh. Yeah. It's fucking awesome. Speaking of news, we just had that like brief sidestep there for a moment, but getting back to American imperial collapse. American imperial collapse. Trump advisor privately urging him to seek an exit ramp from the Iran war, citing concerns about spiking oil prices and potential political backlash. Things are not going good, folks. Revolutionary Guard spokesman to Al Jazeera says no American ship will dare approach the Sea of Oman, the Gulf waters, or the Strait of Hormuz. Things are. I thought this was victory was imminent, but it turns out Yankee Empire is not. It doesn't have the fucking motion that it once did.
Report shows I'm willing to live with that report.
But experts say the U.S. is the only military in the war that uses Tomahawk missiles, and say it is likely an American Tomahawk missile hit the area near the school. The president yesterday also very conscious of the economic impact of the war, with oil prices climbing after restrictions in the key Strait of Hormuz, though the markets rallied last night.
We're also focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world.
Overnight, responding to the president's comments, Iran threatening to stop the flow of oil if attacks continue. The president later posting that if Iran's leaders did so, quote, death, fire, and fury will rain upon them. And amid reports that Russia is providing intelligence to help Iran target U.S. forces in the region, President Trump said Monday that he had a good call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, urging Putin to help end the war in Ukraine. And in the fighting in the Middle East, the president said Putin wants to be, in his words, quote, very constructive. Craig.
Peter Alexander from the White House. Peter, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today.
Let's take a closer look at the comments issued by Iran's Revolutionary Guard to President Trump's comments on the war ending soon. The statement says our hands are open to expanding the war. Security will be for all and insecurity for all. We are the ones who will determine the end of the war. The statement goes on to say the regional equations and the future situation of the region. And
the Venezuela comp is a common one, but the Yemen one is also a noteworthy lesson in Trumpian policy. Yeah. The Israeli goal of each round has not necessarily been to finish off Iran, but to keep the option open for the next round. Conversely, the Iranian goal is not just to survive, but to ensure that there won't be a next round. There's a lot of attention to Trump's lessons from the Venezuelan campaign, which is that some enemies crumble at the first punch, and less to his lesson on the Yemeni campaign, which is that you can just taco when it starts to drag on. The problem here, however, is that Trump's capabilities of pulling out in Yemen is not as dependent on like Israeli goals, because Yemen can reach Israel, but it's not as significant of a threat as Iran, right? Iran is the main prize, because if Iran falls, then Yemen is easier to deal with. That's the reason why he can't pull out of Iran, not because he doesn't want to pull out. If it was up to him, I think he would look for. I think he could look for an alternative off ramp here and just try to find like a modest W for himself, to just like pat himself on the back to be like, oh, well, we severely diminished their capabilities, blah, 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 all this shit. And maybe even like pull out of the Gulf, right? And turn around and say that they pulled out of the Gulf because they wanted to, because like the Gulf partners are unreliable, something along those lines, right? Like there's always propaganda that the administration can deploy when they're leaning into the demands being made by Iran, because Iran's goals here are not like the complete destruction of Israel, right? Like that's not going to happen. Let's be real. America has a fuck ton of they still have room to grow in the escalation ladder. They can still hit the nuclear option, for example. That's always, especially for Israel, that's most likely what the outcome would be before they allowed Iran to like destroy Tel Aviv, right? So Iran is aware of that as well. The reason why I'm bringing up Yemen versus Iran here, however, is that America can pull out of Yemen because Yemen is not as severe of a threat to Israel, but Iran is a severe threat to Israel's existence, right? And therefore, it's Israel that controls this bout. Israel is the one that's, calling the shots. Israel is the one that's saying, we're going to escalate, we're going to shoot the oil refineries, we're going to blow up desalination plants, or we're going to tell America to blow up desalination plants, and they'll blow up the desalination plants, right? Like, so the real way to get out of this for Trump is to cut Netanyahu out, is to, for the first time since like, the Obama administration, to tell Israel to fucking stand down. American presidents used to do that all the time. It's very common practice, as a matter of fact. Virtually every American president has done so, both privately and also publicly. Trump 1 changed that. Trump 1 absolutely gave Israel the reins of our MENA policy, right? This is something that I bring up all the time. We just stopped saying no to Israel. Completely stopped saying no to Israel. Ronald Reagan had done so. George H.W. Bush had done so. George W. Bush, and even Biden in 2021 had at a certain point told Israel, enough, stand down. Now, that was a little bit different, obviously. That was not a post-October 7th situation. That was more so just, telling Israel to cut the mowing the lawn operations short. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because Donald Trump has never told Israel to stand down. Like, you can maybe point to the end of the 12-day war where he told the jets to turn back around, but that was because they didn't have enough munitions to defend Israel, right? And now we're in this long-standing quagmire, an imminent gas crisis, an imminent energy crisis all around the fucking world, right? And there is a lot of political pressure at the domestic level for Donald Trump. Dr. Jihad. Thank you. Arab. Dr. Jihad. Goy. I'm a double major in racism and jihad. Okay? But as I was saying, Trump cannot simply pull out of Iran. He can't find an off-ramp to pull out of Iran for 2 reasons. One, because Iran is currently punishing the American assets in the region, right? Iran is showing the rest of the world and all the foreign adversaries that America is a little bit of a paper tiger. And in order to restore confidence in American imperialism and American military might, Donald Trump can't just like chicken out of this, and he can't just pull out of this, right? Because there will be devastating consequences. That stop sending me Scott Ritter analysis, please. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. Stop. Fucking cranks in this damn community. Jesus Christ, dude. Stop! At least Professor Jiang is like, it is somewhat interesting. Like, I mean, he's a crank too, but like, I want to have Professor Jiang on the show. But like with Scott Ritter, it's like, I mean, that's just a full crank. Jesus Christ. So many of you guys are so desperate for like someone who is seemingly on the opposing side of like American military adventurism that you find yourself like in the throes of maximalist cranks. Jiang is apparently a Holocaust denier, so maybe hold off on that. No, of course I'm not going to hold off on that. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to ask him about that shit. He also said Jews invented Islam. Jiang is a crank too. I know. Shut up. I'm not a fucking baby, okay? You are a baby. In comparison to me, you are the baby here, okay? Stop trying to baby a 34-year-old man. Yes, I'm totally aware of all the stuff that predictive history, aka Professor Jiang, has put forward, okay? I know. Where were we? Let's continue.
Now in the hands of the Islamic Republic's armed forces, and that the American forces will not be the ones to end the war. For more on this, let's bring in Tauhid Asadi in Tehran. So Iran remaining very defiant there, Tauhid.
Yes, indeed. According to the statement that we heard, not just from the IRGC, but also when it comes to diplomatic sources and the Iranian foreign minister himself in particular, we hear this very strong message that the question of how war is going to be ended, when it's going to be ended, and how long it's going to be taking is something that Tehran says the question remains for it to answer, not for the Americans or the Israelis. And this is actually a strong message of defiance that we heard. Also, the Iranian armed forces are constantly saying that they are ready for a war of attrition, for a long-time confrontation, and there is this readiness militarily speaking in that regard. Also, we see as the reality on the ground that retaliatory strikes by IRGC, one wave after another, is continued, and they are coming every time with the strong messages, that the latest of which they said that they are using +1 ton warheads in the recent and next waves of their retaliatory strikes, which is quite indicative of the very fact that the situation looks far from any point of de-escalation. And also, related to that conversation, we had the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Esmail Baghai, in his press conference yesterday to say that, quote unquote, as long as military aggression continues, talking about anything other than crushing answer is not relevant. Iranians right now, we hear from different officials in Tehran, including the Supreme National Security Council, including the foreign minister, a spokesperson for the foreign ministry, the Iranian president. They're all saying that right now, as long as the aggressions, the attacks continue, talking about any negotiation or ceasefire is not going to be on the agenda. So they have sort of conditioned any potential de-escalation to halting of these strikes, which we have been witnessing up until the moment.
All right.
A lot of you literally see some videos of people saying things that you agree with and instantly assume that these guys have always been fucking valid, have always provided sound analysis. Okay? it's very frustrating. Like, exercise a little bit of fucking discipline in your media diet. Like, this is how you fall for the likes of Jimmy Dore. This is how you fall for the likes of fucking Tucker Carlson. This is how you fall for the likes of like sometimes people have different reasons for why they are saying things that are that come across as agreeable to you. Okay. Sometimes people are fucking, doesn't Al Jazeera provide pretty consistent analysis? Yes, I'm not talking about Al Jazeera. I'm talking about Predictive History, Scott Ritter, Jimmy Dore, and you know, who else? I mean, Tucker Carlson's another one. Candace Owens does this to a certain degree when it comes to Israel-related shit. Fucking Nick Fuentes. Like, you have to look at the things that these people believe, okay? You can't just like lean into one crank take that they have and assume that they know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay? Being jealous of Jiang is so low. Wait, no, Dr. Jiang is so good. Lamau, you're so jealous. Oh my fucking God. I literally want to have him on the stream. Okay? He just has a lot of, in a sea of like very good takes, right? In a sea of very good takes, he has a lot of nutty takes, okay? He can be very insightful. And then sometimes you hear some shit where you're like, oh my God, he's out of his fucking mind. Also, he's not a doctor, I don't think. He's not a professor. I am a professor of jihad, a doctor of jihad. He is not a real doctor, I don't think. He's an English teacher in high school. Like, Dr. Jiang literally just did a Richard Spencer stream, okay? Bro, this community would literally end up fighting for Turtle Island. I know. There are a lot of people that are just tuning in because they're looking for someone to cut through the noise, that someone that's just not fucking selling them on a lie about American imperialism being mighty. And then they come in here and they're listening to what I have to say and they're like, "Oh my God, you must be in agreement with like a lot of these other cranks. You must be in agreement with like everything else that they're saying." And no. Like, I have a very specific set of values that I very openly talk about all the time. Like, if you're going to miss me when you start talking about like Illuminati and shit, you know what I mean? Like, that's not something that I am going to be on board with. I thought Jiang was a Harvard professor. No, he's not. What the fuck? No, he's a English teacher, I think in like Beijing high school or something. Yeah, he's a big like free society or Freemason secret society guy. But I want to explore it. I want to explore what he has to say. Like, look, the most reliable people that I will always ride for, that I will, even if I have my disagreements with them, is people like Mersheimer, okay? People like Jeffrey Sachs. People like Norm Finkelstein. These are people who are endlessly reliable when it comes to their analysis, their foreign policy, their interpretation of events. Chris Hedges is another guy, right? Like, these are people who are legit. These are serious people. They're consistent. They have a fully developed worldview. I might not completely agree with everything that they're saying, but like, they're not fucking cranks, okay? Giannis Varoufakis is another one. Abby Martin is another one. You know, they have a body of work that you can lean into, that you can learn from, that you can actually, that you can actually fucking listen to. There are, however, a lot of other people out there in the periphery that are, dancing in the waters of being fucking cranks. Trita Parsi is great for Iran-related things as well.